Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber CISSP Prepcast. This series helps you prepare for the ISSP exam with focused explanations and practical context. In this episode, we'll explore fundamental secure design principles, specifically defense in depth and the principle of least privilege. These are not just theoretical best practices. They are practical, actionable frameworks for building systems that can withstand real-world threats. They provide structure to your security architecture, ensuring that protection is not only present but resilient, redundant, and thoughtfully applied. As a future certified information systems security professional, your ability to understand, implement, and advocate for secure design principles is critical. From network segmentation to access control, from cloud architecture to endpoint protection, these principles guide nearly every security decision you'll make. Let's begin with a general overview of secure design principles. These principles are the architectural foundation of cybersecurity. They define how systems should be constructed, deployed, and managed in order to minimize risk, enforce controls, and ensure resilience. Secure design is not something you bolt on after deployment. It starts at the beginning, at the drawing board, and is revisited throughout the system's life. These principles shape decisions about technology selection, configuration standards, access management, segmentation, monitoring, and more. They support your security policies, align with regulatory frameworks, and help mitigate emerging threats. When followed consistently, secure design principles reduce vulnerabilities, support rapid detection and containment, and make your organization harder to attack and easier to defend. They also support compliance. Many frameworks, such as NIST, ISO 27001, and CIS controls, require that organizations follow secure design principles. By incorporating these principles into your architecture, you can more easily demonstrate alignment with audit and regulatory expectations. Now let's take a deep dive into defense in depth. This strategy involves layering multiple security controls throughout a system or environment so that if one layer fails, others are in place to continue protecting critical assets. It's based on the idea that no single control is foolproof. Attackers often look for the weakest link, so overlapping layers reduce the likelihood of a successful breach. In practice, defense in depth might include external firewalls at the network perimeter, internal firewalls between segments, intrusion detection and prevention systems, antivirus on endpoints, network segmentation to isolate systems, and strong identity verification at every step. Add physical security like badge access to data centers and locked server racks, and you've created a comprehensive, layered defense. Each layer addresses a different risk. Firewalls block unauthorized traffic, IDS systems detect anomalies, antivirus tools scan for malware, least privilege access ensures users only interact with necessary systems. Encryption protects data if a breach occurs. Together, these controls create a barrier that is far more difficult to penetrate than any single mechanism alone. Defense in depth also buys time. If an attacker breaches one layer, the next layer may alert your team before further damage is done. This delay is critical in containing incidents before they escalate. Another benefit is redundancy. If one tool fails, others continue to protect the environment. Redundancy is especially valuable in mission-critical systems, where downtime is not acceptable and resilience is essential. Let's now shift our focus to the principle of least privilege. Least privilege means giving users and systems the minimum level of access needed to perform their assigned tasks, and nothing more. This principle applies to files, databases, network resources, administrative tools, applications, and system commands. By limiting access, you reduce the likelihood that a compromised account can cause widespread damage. If a user account is phished or misused, the damage is limited to the resources that user could legitimately access. If that user had unnecessary access to multiple systems or elevated privileges, the consequences would be far more serious. Effective least privilege implementation starts with strong access control systems. This includes role-based access control, multi-factor authentication, and privileged access management platforms. Each user is assigned a role, and each role has predefined access rights. If a user changes roles, their access must be adjusted accordingly. Access reviews are essential. These are periodic checks to confirm that users still require their current access. If not, their rights should be revoked or modified. Dormant accounts, excessive privileges, and forgotten admin rights are common issues that must be addressed during reviews. Least privilege also applies to applications and system processes. Programs should run with the minimum permissions they need. This reduces the risk that an exploited application can affect the wider environment. The same applies to API tokens, service accounts, and automation scripts. When implemented well, least privilege reduces your attack surface, improves accountability, and makes compliance reporting much easier. Audit trails are cleaner, monitoring is more focused, and the overall environment becomes more manageable. For more cybersecurity content and books, please visit cyberauthor.com. You'll find best-selling books, training tools, and resources tailored specifically for cybersecurity professionals. Also explore additional Prepcast episodes and resources at baremetalcyber.com. Let's now look at how to implement secure design principles effectively. First, start with documentation. Your organization should have documented policies and procedures that specify how defense in depth and least privilege are applied across systems. These documents should include configuration standards, architecture diagrams, access control models, and security baselines. Security architecture reviews help verify that these principles are applied consistently. These reviews evaluate how systems are designed and deployed, identifying gaps in layering or access controls. Reviews should occur regularly and whenever new systems are introduced or major changes are made. Automation tools can support consistency. Tools that manage access rights, enforce group policies, apply security templates, and verify configurations all reduce human error and support principal enforcement. Security orchestration platforms can automate detection and response based on layered defenses. Training supports understanding. Developers must understand how to design with security in mind. System administrators must configure access correctly. End users must know how to follow least privilege policies when handling sensitive data or using privileged systems. Incident response plans should explicitly incorporate secure design. When a breach occurs, your defense layers should slow attackers, create logs, and support detection. Your access controls should contain the blast radius. Your architecture should allow for system isolation and recovery. If these elements are missing, incident response becomes reactive and chaotic. Let's now turn to continuous improvement in secure design. Threats evolve, regulations change, your systems and users change. That means secure design must evolve too. Review and update secure design practices regularly. This includes revisiting configuration standards, updating encryption methods, reevaluating firewall rules, and adjusting identity controls. Use threat intelligence and incident feedback to adapt your defenses to current risks. Post-incident reviews offer valuable insight. If an attacker bypassed a control, ask why. If lateral movement occurred, identify what failed. Use these lessons to strengthen layering and tighten privilege assignments. Cross-functional collaboration enhances effectiveness. Developers, security teams, infrastructure admins, compliance officers, and business leaders must all play a role in secure design. Each brings a unique perspective and helps ensure that controls are technically sound, compliant, and aligned with business needs. Training is an ongoing process. Employees at every level need to understand why secure design matters and how their actions affect system security. Developers should be trained in secure coding practices. Architects should know how to build layered defenses. System admins must be experts in access control. And end users must understand the role they play in protecting assets. Finally, proactive improvement means looking ahead. This includes adopting zero-trust principles, implementing microsegmentation, moving to passwordless authentication, or applying adaptive access policies based on behavioral analytics. These advanced practices are built on the foundation of secure design, and they ensure your organization stays ahead of the curve. Thank you for tuning in to the CISSP Prepcast by Bare Metal Cyber. Visit baremetalcyber.com for additional episodes, comprehensive CISSP study materials, and personalized certification support. Strengthen your understanding of secure design principles and we'll consistently support your journey toward CISSP certification success.